What's up, YouTube? Here again on the D90 build, RC4 drive Gelande 2, and it's just issue after issue. I bought these. This is some sort of light bar mount for ARB roof rack. It said, and only $7. Came with a bunch of screws, and I guess it's not for this ARB roof rack. So I really want to put some light bars on this. I want to put a light bar and some of the Baja Design Squadron lights that I have on the front of my cruiser. These are awesome little scale lights. So I thought, I'll buy the mounts. Well, yeah. Now we got to make our own. So as you can see, I've stripped a lot of stuff out of the front of the roof rack, and I've started making my own mount, and I'll show you that. Okay, so my thinking is I can't screw into this metal roll bar. This, I'm pretty sure, is solid steel rod, and I'm not going to be able to drill holes through that. So, nothing lines up with anything. These mounts that I bought don't fit anything. So, I'm going to make my own kind of floor, which we did the last video with the D90. I used this nice cross-stitching canvas mesh stuff to make a floor for the roof rack. Well, now we're going to have to take it a step further, and this is what I've got so far. I'm making styrene floor for the front. I will paint it black, I promise. So I've been looking at ways to attach it, and I think my only option is to zip tie it down with the mesh that I've used for the rest of it. So I've got to figure out, because there's not very many crossbars. The roof rack itself has smaller crossbars that sit higher than these windshield guard part roof bars here. So that's why my lining is kind of lumpy. So I think the best option would be to put it underneath this, if I can get that up enough, and try to, oh, whoa. No retakes here. Well, try to zip tie it all together underneath this and screw the light bar down to it. There we go. Something like that. I'm going to do a little more trimming. I need to round out the corners, but you kind of see where I'm coming from with this. Let me turn it to the side here and show you. This is, how big is this one? 4-inch RC4wd drive LED light bar. Fits perfectly between the front bars of the roll bar. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make this little piece. I got to reinforce it a little bit, and I'm going to paint it black and zip tie it all down and screw the light bar to it. Best ideas, worst ideas, we'll see. Alright, so I've glued another piece of the same thickness. I think this is 0.75 mil styrene just across the middle here, because this is the point where the light bar will be mounted. And yeah, going to start looking at drilling holes and where I need zip ties and how stable I can make this thing. Alright, so I marked some holes and drilled them up. I really need to do a test fit. I don't want to zip tie all this and then cut it back out to paint it. So I'm not sure how I'm going to proceed. I guess the next step I'm going to do is mount the lights to this. I've got to drill some more holes and see how that's all going to work, because the light bar brackets have tiny little holes, and I got to find some tiny little screws and nuts to hold it all together. I don't believe the Baja Designs, yeah, they don't come with any hardware other than the mounting bracket itself. So I take the little tiny screws out of that, remove the mounting brackets from the lights, and then mount up the tiny lights. Oh, scale. Alright guys, I got it made. I've got the light bar in, I've got all my holes drilled. It's time to paint the thing. I got these Squadron lights out, and they won't quite fit in. I thought I could stick them in the corners. There's just not enough room because the light bar sticks in so far. So I guess I'm going to hold off on those for now. Find somewhere else to put them. But I'm going to give this thing a cheap coat of black paint, and then we'll start looking at how I think I'm going to have to trim my mat around the light, figure out how far forward I want to go with it, and then we got to figure out how we're going to get the wires inside the cab. I hate to drill a hole in my beautiful white roof, but I don't know. We gotta look into that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some paint on this and drying, and then we'll start looking at mounting it up permanently. Alright guys, in the meantime, while I'm waiting on paint to dry, I got the CC Hand Land Rover Defender emblem kit, and I put the Land Rover on the hood, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. It seems a bit gaudy actually. It's kind of chrome. I've already committed. I've already lined it up and it's already stuck on, so I'm not sure. Really not sure at all. Let's bring some light on there so you can see it better. Kind of disappointed because it doesn't have the green Land Rover emblem for the grill. I've got Defender and the kind of old school nameplate for the rear. It's all metal. This was the only one that was sticky back. Not 100% sure how I feel about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm kind of on the fence. I looked up pictures of Defenders, and some of them say that, some of them say Defender, some of them don't have anything. So I don't know what they actually came with. It's there. Hopefully, if it needs to come off, if I decide I don't like it, it doesn't rip the paint off. But my little plate I've made should almost be dry. I went outside to paint it flat black, and it's like 28 degrees, and my flat black paint did not work. It's been setting too long, so it's going to be gloss black, but you won't really be able to see it. So, yep. Hopefully it'll dry here pretty soon. I can wrap this one up. Alright guys, let that dry overnight. Put a little too much paint on it. It was cold outside, so it ran. Didn't work well, but you're not going to be able to see it. Went ahead and mounted the light bar up. I still don't know how I'm going to run the wire into the truck, but I'm ready to get this thing on. I still got to do some trimming on the cargo mat up there. Figure out how far I want to trim it. I'll probably just go to there all the way across and be done with it. So I got to measure that and see how far back that is. So I'm going to start working on that. Alright guys, I got it on. Everything looks pretty good. I've got it kind of ghetto rigged here where I can turn it on. Should see the final look. It's old Tamiya light controller. Bring your end over here. The battery hadn't been charged. It won't even hold a charge, so I'm sure that's not as bright as it's going to get, but just try to get the idea of what it's going to look like. I think it looks pretty good. I'll zoom you in up top here and show you how I kind of got everything tied down. Alright, so you can see I've got zip ties around the outside edge. I did the same thing I did with the mat. I just pulled them, I put them all on kind of loose, tightened them with the cutters, pulled them tight, and then folded them under, rolled them underneath so you can't see the heads. Now I do have a few exposed on top. If I can get around that bar, you can see a couple right there. And my light wire, I had to cut a little gap in the netting, and I just drilled a hole in the corner of the sunroof and routed it in that way. I figured I've got extra glass on its way, so if I ever decide to take the rack off and all that, I'll have a new piece of glass to put up there if I want. So I figured that'd be better than drilling a hole in the body. But yeah, that's really about it. It's pretty much the same story on the other side. Makes this area appear nice and solid. I mean, you can pick it up now by the light. It's not budging. So it's pretty solid thing. I put stuff back in the roof rack a little bit different. I went ahead and moved everything back so you still get light in the sunroof for the most part, minus the canoe. But yep, I think I'll wrap this one up. I have a basic light set for the headlights, but there's no point in really putting those in. All it is 2 LEDs with a servo connector, or yeah, a connector on the end of it. So until I have anything to plug it into, I'm not gonna put that in yet, because it's just gluing in LEDs. I probably won't even make a video about that. It's pretty self-explanatory. But anyways, thank y'all for watching, and stay tuned for more. We've got a lot more stuff coming up. See, I've got that Jeep in the background there. We're just starting, and we've still got a long way to go on this D90. So please like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned. Thank you.